to The Gifted Ones, and I'm your host, Liz Thropp. And today we have an incredible guest, Michelle Molinari. And Michelle hails from Huntington Beach, California, and she is highly likely to be the ultimate Walking Dead fan. And so much so that she uprooted her life and moved to Sonoma, Georgia to pursue her passion in all things zombie. She currently manages a tour of a private filming backlot in Haralson, Georgia. I said that right?
Yes.
I had to look at you for a second there. That has been used as a film site for 14 movies, and get this, 17 scenes from the #1 show in America and Canada, I have to say, The Walking Dead. On that tour, you will walk where many main characters performed their scenes and where hundreds of zombies once roamed during filming. It's an interactive experience where superfans can truly immerse themselves directly into the apocalypse. How fun! Now, not only that, Michelle is also a headmistress of the Zombie Charm School in Sonoma, Georgia, where she transforms fans into full-blown walkers with makeup and wardrobe. They receive training from actual walkers from the show and generate attacks on tour guests with an authentic appearance and behavior in a herd alongside actual walkers from the show. How cool! She is the ultimate superfan herself and makeup artist, sharing her passion for the apocalypse with fans who flock to participate in her Walker for a Day experience from all over the world. Michelle, welcome to The Gifted Ones. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Wow. I have got to come and see you someday because I have been following you since, as long as I can remember with The Walking Dead, right? And we're both super fans.
That's awesome.
And you have literally just changed the game for those of us who just are fans, because you've taken it to the next level with everything I've just described. Your makeup abilities are amazing. And how did you discover this hidden talent?
I've always enjoyed like theatrical makeup and stuff like that, but I never was a fan of zombie stuff in particular. Like, I've never really watched Dawn of the Dead or Day of the Dead all the way through. I've watched pieces. I was always been afraid of them. And I had a friend who needed some help doing zombies at a venue. He needed to do 60 zombies in a night. And I believe in overcoming fears and getting over things that bother you. So
Absolutely.
I signed up and to assist. And then the lady who was in charge, I was the only assistant, the lady who was in charge decided to quit the night of the event.
Oh my goodness.
So I had to make 60 zombies every night for five days, I think it was.
Wow.
And so I kind of became an expert.
Yeah,
and I got my fear.
Wow. That's amazing. So you with your Walking Dead tours, please explain to somebody who's never been what they can expect when they get there.
Well, it is a private filming backlot where 17 scenes were filmed. And so we have a really juicy story that happened here with a beginning and a middle and an ending. And so we take our guests on that journey. And they did film here 7 years ago. So it was a while back. It's what we call now classic Walking Dead storyline. So they get to walk where some of the characters who are no longer on the show, and beloved characters at that, were filming here. They get to do some interactive adventures along the lines of the same things that happened in those episodes. We issue replica weaponry, so they look awesome.
Wow.
They've got, crossbows and guns and knives and, you name it.
The katana, the Michelle katana. Do you have that?
Of course we've got several katanas. Yes, ma'am.
Love it.
So we dress them up a little bit so they look awesome, and then they get to go through our property and follow the story. So it doesn't really matter if they've been a fan of The Walking Dead or not. It's a complete experience, apocalyptic experience in and of itself. But for fans of the show, it's especially exciting because we do take them inside some of the buildings, and it's just really amazing. And then, of course, on Saturdays we have our walkers who are for our Walker Encounter tour from the show, and they attack, and it's just super crazy fun. And they are in full regalia from head to toe. So
that is cool. Amazing. So, and you have a gift shop there as well, so they can purchase.
We do have the largest Walking Dead related gift shop in Georgia. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that's so neat. Now, how did the Zombie Charm School evolve to where it is today?
I was binge watching. I was not a fan of the show when it first came out, of course, because not a big zombie person.
Right.
At the time. And so everyone kept telling me as I was making all these zombies, those 60 zombies every night, they say, you must love The Walking Dead. And I never had watched it. So after, the 5 days were over and I was coming down off of the high of making, several dozen zombies every single night, I decided to tune into the show. And it was about season 3 or 4 that I did that. And once I finished season 3, I think it was, I told my husband, I said, I'm starting a new business. I'm getting rid of my old business, and this is what I do now. And he thought I was crazy, but I did it anyway. So we started to go around to conventions and turn fans into walkers, since I knew how to make them so dang fast.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
That's amazing.
So we started making them at conventions, and it was awesome.
Amazing. Now, I know from following you all these years that your husband has an uncanny resemblance to one of the stars in the show. Do you want to explain how that came about? Because you dress him up like him, and it must be really awesome to have somebody who looks just like this guy.
He's been my own personal Daryl now for about 6 years. It turns out that he does have a resemblance to Norman Reedus, who portrays Daryl Dixon on the show.
Yeah.
But I never really noticed it until one day my husband said he was going to grow his hair out. He always had a crew cut.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't picture him with hair. And so as a joke, purely as a joke, I photoshopped Daryl Dixon's hair on his head, like, hey, here's a hairstyle to kind of go for. And then I just about fell over. That's when I realized that my husband has his features. I mean, there's just a few slight differences in, like, their head shape and their physical height. But other than that, my husband's got the same eye shape, the same eye color, the same mouth, the same little nose.
Yeah.
I mean, it's exact.
It's uncanny. It really is.
It was a surprise to me. I didn't know I'd been sitting next to my own Daryl all this time that I've been watching.
Yes. Now, you've also been instrumental in launching other characters, like people that you've met through your travels or through friends or what have you. And so can you share who those are? The different
we did
characters?
develop some cosplayers along the way, hoping that, to enhance the experience of taking pictures with, my husband, who is called the Daryl Dude. So people take pictures with the Daryl Dude, could take pictures with other cosplayers that also looked quite a lot like their counterparts on the show. And that was really, really fun. We don't really do that anymore here on a regular basis. We do invite cosplayers to come and play with us from time to time.
That's fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
we have several Ricks that we work with. We have a Maggie that we worked with in the past who's very good. We have a new beta character for the new season coming up, and an alpha character. So they're whisperers, but that's all coming up in season 9.
Yeah,
season 9 stuff.
Obviously, you're just down the street from where the actual Walking Dead is being filmed, right? Like you're in the same area. Have you met any of the Walking Dead actors?
I haven't run into them like in the wild, so to speak. But they're everywhere down here because they do their own things. They buy their own groceries. They get their own coffee. They pump their own gas.
Yeah. So
we do see them from time to time in the local stores. I have not had the luck of running into them. All the experiences I've ever had, for the most part, is that I've had to pay for my experiences. But I have had the pleasure of meeting Seth Gilliam at a lunch that a friend of mine was having, and that was quite exciting. And he ended up actually coming to my house for a weenie roast once.
Wow.
So that was kind of, and Seth Gilliam portrays Father Gabriel.
Father Gabriel, that's what I thought.
That was the only, kind of strange thing that's transpired out of this that would be, any kind of thing to brag about. But we have run into many of the actors at the cons who come into our booth to take pictures just on the fly, just
That's so cool.
They just come in and chatted with us or talked to us, and I didn't have to pay for that. So that
there
was
you go. That's
for the
good.
most part. Any pictures of me with Norman Reedus, I had to pay for. But any pictures of the Daryl dude with Norman Reedus, he didn't pay for.
That's right.
Because Norman
remember.
Reedus seeks him out, high fives him, and says hi, but I got to pay.
You got to pay. How unfair is that, right? No fairsies.
Yeah.
But, it's so cool because, even with the paid photographs, you're an ultimate fan. So now what people aren't aware of is that your makeup experience has won you 2 tickets to be on this cruise that's coming up, the Walking Dead cruise. You were in a competition with how many people?
I'm not exactly sure all of the contestants, the number of contestants, but I think it was somewhere around 12 makeup artists.
Yeah.
Were competing for passage on the cruise in exchange for demonstrations of our work while on the cruise. So I do still have to
a little bit of
earn
work.
my keep by showing folks how I make walkers. And so that will be fun because they're all Walking Dead fans. I'm sure they'll enjoy it.
Exactly. Because I've watched, as we get to follow different people on Facebook, you had attended the cruise a few years ago. And you had posted your pictures, and they were so fun. Like, what a fun cruise that must be. Everybody's walking around like a zombie, and it's just so fun. So, what's next for you, Michelle? Like, you've done so much. Like, what's coming up next? What do you think?
You know what? I have no idea. I'm just the kind of person where if something strikes my fancy, I will drop everything and throw myself into it and take it all the way to the wall. I'm just right now my passion is The Walking Dead. I still, after all these years, I'm crazy about the show. I'm crazy about giving people a really phenomenal experience. I love turning them into jaw-dropping walkers. It's just such a kick for me. That's my passion. I wanted someone to do that for me, and I couldn't find a makeup artist that would do that for any price. And so it's my passion to make that happen for other Walking Dead fans, because I consider myself an average crazy Walking Dead fan.
Yeah.
So if I want to be a walker, you want to be a walker if you like The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And so that's it. Or you want to tour the property or any of that. We try to bring the best, most unexpected, highest quality experience that we can, and that's where my passion still is at the moment. But knowing me, at any time something else could strike my fancy, and then that's I'll go after that fish.
Yeah.
I'm just crazy like that.
When I first met you,
when I want to do it.
Like when I first met you, you were in home staging. Let's face it, you were a home stager, and that was 100 years ago with me back then too, right? So you flipped completely from one thing to like. And I remember thinking you were such a successful home stager, and you uprooted from your family home. Like you had owned that home, had been in the family for a long time, and you
150 years,
right? So you took a huge leap of faith. But I guess for our viewers, would you change anything?
No, because then I wouldn't be me, because that's just what I do. I'm all in. I'm just an all in kind of person.
And that's
I don't put a toe in the water at all.
Yeah.
I just jump in.
And that's why you're a success, lady. That's exactly why. Well, it has been an absolute pleasure talking to you about all zombies and stuff. And if somebody wants to come and see you, where do they look you up? How do they find you?
Our Facebook page has the most information that's updated regularly. So Walk-In with a no G, Walk-In Dead Haralson is our Facebook page. And they can also go to walkindeadharalson.com for our webpage to book a tour of any type. So it could be a regular tour, a walker encounter tour, or it could be a walker for a day where we transform you. But those are the major places that you can find. And of course, we're on Instagram. So we're out there. Just
awesome.
Google Walking Dead Tours and you'll find us.
I love it. Well, I am going to promise to try and get out there this year. I have been making that threat for a few years now, but I think I've convinced my husband, who is also a huge Walking Dead fan, that we're going to come out and visit you. So thank you so much. It has been
You're
awesome.
welcome.
Have a great day.
Thanks, Liz. Bye-bye.
Bye.